라마당 벨레 뒤기 콜로 이수메베 샤블라 차첼로 다리 면종께도 두겐 최결 젠보 벨레 미원징메 개설은 남게 왕추 조기 갈롭람 뛴신 잠링 시디 꾸림 루벤단레 다 차시직 다다 두코르기 왕군니림바디 임베 대딜로 도마르 괴베 왕기 진다기 체왈레 짬데 대둠다직 종합 별게다 추게 데미 돌레 이슈와젠 대페사시미다 베게 하고미 솔로 대펜토비기 괴바유 대양 왕추 규징게게 보 힘진지당 개바르다데 추기를 yap신 남바니디 다윈 자가리 율도 상게실 주베캅로 바와젠 gelbozugin ingbolla soba dongger chempo thugi chöger chempo namdang sangge nyangin lede be jesu chöjel nyangin met serweda chöjel ashoka tabutang tele be kangjin jonglu chögel mewen namsum tabu hakbardo sanga doji tekbe temballu kadin chesulle sambajen nupchoge gelbo 인더보디 샴발레이 최절 다와장보 강종기 최결 티송 dev진다부 임베 중sen양 결보 인더보딜로 땡제기 델레벨 상와두비 추게콜로 숭도 샴발레이 최절 다와장볼로 땡제 델레 뒤쿠르기 주숭도 베도 최결 티송 dev진게 값소 자가르도 주비 가당 땡주 용조지 덴덴베 가라 텔레 상아 나주리 닝미 까데르 다난게 최고로 삼기 미차바지 중위 텔레 까딘 제바 신도 다다 신도 닝마 나도르 줄베 듄나 데 상기게 템바 용조지당 텔레 마타 치소소 tarbe domba 코르남지 창와 게롱 마이 domba 레구중디 텔레 상하기 템바 용조 대가주로 까테르 당난기 최고를라서바 대 냠밤메바 대랑나소스 롱제니 유미기 겔와 장보르 줄바디 다 최기를 yap시기 꾸딘 임레텐 대당바 디 차단 최배율도 줄바이 다레 리수 마치베 라툴 게위신인 텔레사지 주민난레 다로 텐드 펠군 텐드 쭈긴도 줄바야 레사유 텔레 낭 투주 림니 사메 축사지로 치 베비 술도 주비 대 깨천 담바 레사 대 주유바시 다 디소 마라기 뉘르 바와진 대왕 슈킨 민바 다더나 하왕구르의 값수 대신색바 링안 남기 왕구르의 공바제세 텔레 윰 남기 왕구르세 아니 되좀베 다도 나들기위 신인 디 탐지장 다 족주 상기기 뚫바 족주 상기기 개섭다부지 전대기 대 피기 왕 참조를 섬지 아기 휴대배사 지루 대 디속이 왕구르왈로 대 공바대 대 징기라부 대 탐지로 대 왕기 진럽주비 대 빵보다부배 삼제 대 차다 주비 율도 주스세요 인스 대마세 왕 슈어보 대 나조미케도 포모 가슴지 인데 베사지로 상하기 기후르도 슈신레 탐제 하당하며랑신 마도 대 타멜바 직자맵이 디벨레텐데 당아라기 카둘레 공기 출 고마 대미왕하다 yapse rimeke la giwi senyin dei shorudo tele wangshuapo ladang lame rangsin 탐제로 대 자저르여 봐 탐제라 싱들균기 장얘기 류드바이 남균도 초도 대배 착첼로세 대 규사표인
First and foremost, I pay homage at the feet of the glorious Kalachakra and Guru who are inseparable. Today, on this auspicious day, we gather here following the instructions and guidance of our great Dharma King, His Majesty King Chimi Kesa Namgyal Wangchuk, the crown jewel of Bhutan, the land of medicinal herbs. One essential component of the Global Peace Prayer Festival is the conferring of the Kalachakra empowerment, a transmission that spans countless generations, a teaching that transforms the very fabric of time into the path of awakening. At the outset, let me explain about the greatness of the patron of this most sacred event, the Kalachakra empowerment. The successive kings of the Wangchuk dynasty in general, and particularly the present great Dharma kings, His Majesty the fourth Tuk Gyalpo, Chikmi Singye Wangchuk, and His Majesty King Chimi Kesar Namgyal Wangchuk are the royal patrons of the Buddha Dharma. Our great Dharma kings are equivalent to the great ancient kings of India, such as King Bimbisara of Magadha and Dharma King Ashoka. Our Dharma kings are also equivalent to the 3 generations of emanated Dharma kings of the snow land of Tibet, Songtsen Gampo, who opened Tibet's heart to the Dharma, Tisong Deochen, who planted its unshakable roots, and Ngada Tirel Bachen, who watered those roots with fervent devotion. Now, if we reflect on the teachings of the secret mantra Vajrayana, our royal patrons are like King Indrabhuti of Odiyana, Dharma King Suchandra of the kingdom of Shambhala in the north, where the enlightened kings preserved the Kalachakra teachings through an unbroken golden lineage. Our Dharma kings are no different from the Dharma King Tisong Deochen of the land of snows. Why are these comparisons drawn? This is because the Guya Samaja Tantra, Pelsawa Duba, the king of all tantras, revealing the secret yoga, was taught by the Buddha in reliance upon King Indrabhuti, who requested these profound instructions and became their royal patron. The Kalachakra Tantra, this very teaching we are about to receive today, was taught upon the request of Dharma King Suchandra of the Shambhala kingdom. During the reign of Dharma King Tisong Deochen in Tibet, all the canonical scriptures of the Buddha and the commentarial treatises of the great Panditas existing in India were brought to Tibet through tremendous effort. The scriptures and the commentaries, what we now revere as Kanjur and Tenjur. Furthermore, King Tisong Deochen graciously supported in propagating the inconceivable cycles of the early translation, the Nyingma school teachings, that comprise of Kama, the canonical oral transmissions, the Terma, the treasure teachings concealed by Guru Padma Sambhava for the future, and Taknang, the teachings received through pure vision by realized masters. Similarly, now in these extremely degenerate times, when the 5 degenerations are intensifying, the fact that we have the good fortune to be blessed and full access to the teachings of the Buddha in general and the teachings of the secret mantra Vajrayana in particular is only due to the great benevolence and peerless wisdom of their majesties, the Dharma kings of Bhutan. Therefore, let us all pay homage and offerings to our great Dharma kings as a gesture of our sincere gratitude. Today, many high learned lamas, tukus, accomplished masters, the 4 kinds of Sangha, Bhikshu and Bhikshuni, male and female, Upasakas and Upasakis, are gathered here for the empowerment. In this gathering, most likely there are many noble, accomplished beings with their minds enriched by the profound generation and completion stages like the hidden yogis in disguise. To all of you, it is my sincere request to be present, not as disciples receiving the empowerment from me, but rather as masters who direct the enlightened intention towards the empowerment ceremony and confer blessings as representatives of the Buddhas of the 10 directions. To you all, I pay homage and offerings. Furthermore, all receiving the empowerment today now enter the mandala of the secret mantrayana. Therefore, everyone present here today embody the nature of male and female deities. Not one among us is an ordinary being. Hence, to all of you who are worthy of homage, with bodies numbering as many as atoms in all worlds, throughout all realms, with supreme devotion, I offer prostration.
Da kebi yusu tamsheni ki popadang towa yubab tali mede besa jiru kenpa na dempa namki shokhalu da mashimi tsolo koda kaniya matruba jin te diya penmi tobe debo le ten nalema jiktenda debe tam Dachato to Jigda, Tele Chuchole, Lungri dan Delwe, Tam Zamboshi, Shumashi de Besachero, Tarangi Semlo, Takanshara Zamshik Shuni, Tayang Sangiki, Mishe Palo, Mishe Se, Kelemba Jen. 아니 개반이 세송도 다랑기 미시신도 시에세 켈렘바진 다 직딩기 초래 대 보바우지 인시로 최초래 상기기 미시발로 시베 켈림이디 신도 마룽바 델 구고르미 자 미출람의 준시미 다 직딩 감기 총균 인세송도 데벨레 땐 최초로 제대 다랑기 마시미디 데미시세미데라 슈니 대양 뒤기 콜레 꼴레 당아라기 자찰레 주데지 야미시 마시지 베서지로 둥기 내가 둠다치 마시바진 다도 왕구르 베야미룽 다니보다 다랑기 통출 잠시 쉬어진 라라니 유기셰바 젤도 뜸비 라라기 왕구르 젤도 뜸비 라라기 라렌 젤도 뜸비 라로기 두호르기 냠렌 젤도 뜸비 라루기 다상기 게 까임베 차레 딜루 대바당 규바 끼데 라랑기 까밥 가이미기 취디 냠술렌데 텔레 땅용수 데드미유비 디베니디기 녜바르도 인지민지 다 듀코르 슈고세니다 야나 듀코르 슈미촉 세비기 로 타직도 진바 맵지고비 다 당보 가치와라 가지고 모세와진 삼바자 제와 장주생기 균롱당 탑자 제와 상왕하기 균롱 이세도 대 삼바자 제와 장주생기 균롱디 다 팔리체르기 다 켄다 켄심바 임베 대 남에삼베 자르드 슈구민도 된타르툴로 남바다냐 베셈젠 탐지 진진 파마 이 디 상계 계살로 끄고 디 끄니게 된래 다리벨 두게 콜레 왕슈니 인도이기 데디바디 카체 델레니바 상왕아기 균롱기 값수 탑자체와세 다 탑자체와로 핀숨 속방아 델레 네 핀숨 속바 덴바 핀숨 속바 코르 핀숨 속바 취 핀숨 속바 뒤 핀숨 속바 디라나 소소게 산에 갑로 자제의 유 델레 오마 tia dakpe shinkamdang sangye jangsim solo jardiya yu te tato na shuni di tat chue nyamsu lembe nyanjur ba imba chen pinsum chokpa nga semi di tharing salu ma imba rangi semni rikba keching ma da madelwa chen pinsum chokpa nga bodhi di lo chami tangbar nangwa linchi keba ngoseba jen ani omingi singam i ne pinsun chokpa lona mi de nangwa linchi keba sim ta nangwa number dakpa ani omingi singam ne pinsun chokpa simni linchi keba ngoseba jen ani rangna dünggi tempa kuntu zangpo doji chang peli dügü korlo 아니 딜레 로소 템바 피서 족바야미 딜레 도둑게 셈첸 담제 사당 함메랑신 사당 함메랑신 인고미디야 로와리도 셈첸게 류가 유숨다 뒤숨상기 구송두 니스메비 데 도긴 장바자리 게면엄나레 감숨게 셈첸 담제 뒤숨상기 구송투스 끼징만일랑 오트바르 줄지 세면람 델레 탑디 유 자니 따동아 자라 가라 하단 함메랑 신로 셰바진 데 코르핀슨 속발로나미 다 된담 셈기 dorje 다지 아랑나 댕기 템바 균도 장보 dorje 장 펠리 뒤규 콜로 딜레첼 가메도 사와 탐지 최빈슨 속바이 다 랑리 깨징베 ngor 딜레 마유바 자수바진 딜로 데 마온 다터 뒤숨 로스 주바메 뒤숨 뒤메 뒤숨 양바 니세 데 랍임레 다니 데 빈손 속방 아세 다 빈손 속방 아 임레 덴디기 다 지기지로 델레 집사니 콘토게니 마규바게니 저야 미도 라마 게베시니 저기 툭줄로 넘버 똑바 간예 메데베서지로 다디게 로마당 진다당 호르초기 야 달라마디 bombi 티민도 야디게 달릿 텐다도 다딜라마 bom데 마 올리 텐다노 세비게 남도 다미데 중바지 최당 미팅바이 다도 나세다 바람잠 하당 함메랑 신도 도민 잘림이
Amidst this gathering of learned and accomplished beings, I hold neither the eagerness nor the conceit to teach. However, for the sake of those in the audience, amidst the learned ones who have limited background knowledge, I offer a brief explanation of the empowerment for their benefit. Lacking eloquence, both in worldly expression and in textual and reasoning exposition on Dharma, I shall simply share whatever arises in my mind. The Buddha taught that admitting one's ignorance is itself a mark of the learned, while pretending to know what doesn't know might be considered heroic in worldly terms. From a dharmic perspective, the Buddha declared that claiming knowledge one doesn't possess is utterly improper. In fact, it is like committing the heinous crime of lying. So such a person will be like thief of the world. Therefore, prioritizing Dharma, I admit my limitations. I myself know only about 10% of the Kalachakra teachings. However, if one does not even understand the essential key points of the Kalachakra teachings, then it would be improper to confer the empowerment. From what I have observed on the Kalachakra cycle of teachings, some practitioners emphasize explanation of the Tantra, some stress on conferring empowerments, while some focus on practical application. Some give importance to meditative practice, and some simply generate devotion because it is the Buddha's teaching, while emphasizing whatever teachings belong to their own lineage transmission, remaining indifferent to other traditions. Therefore, one should not cling to extreme views such as one must definitely receive the Kalachakra or one must not receive it. Now, in order to cultivate proper motivation as we receive the empowerment, the first motivation to cultivate is what we call the vast intention of the bodhicitta, or the mind of enlightenment. How do we cultivate? For the benefit of all mother sentient beings, equal to space, I am going to engage in this practice, receive the empowerment, and I alone will shoulder the responsibility to bring all mother sentient beings to the state of perfect, complete enlightenment. So this is what we call the vast intent of bodhicitta. The most important motivation that one needs to cultivate here in the Vajrayana context, particularly today, is what we call the 5 perfections, or the Finsum Sokpanga, the perfect place, teacher, retinue, Dharma, and time. In this particular Kalachakra gathering, I would specifically highlight that the essence of the 5 perfections, to cultivate the essence of the 5 perfections in your mind stream, is such that when one remains inseparable from the instantaneous moment of self-awareness, all the 5 perfections are complete within oneself. So please understand the 5 perfections in the following manner. The first perfection is the perfection of place. When one recognizes appearances as the innately present primordial wisdom, this is the pure realm of Hogmin or Akanish, the pure realm. At this point, when one recognizes all appearances as the innate present primordial wisdom within our mind, there is no need to seek a perfect place elsewhere. The second is the perfect teacher. So how do we cultivate this? When one recognizes that the very nature of one's own mind is the innate, present, primordial wisdom, this itself is Vajradhara, Dorjichang or Kalachakra. So there is no need to seek a perfect teacher elsewhere. The third is perfect retinue or Korpinsum Sokpa. How do we cultivate this? When one recognizes that all sentient beings of the 6 realms are by nature male and female deities, there is no need to seek a perfect assembly of retinue elsewhere. This is very much in line with what the great Drukpa master, the founder of the Drukpa tradition, Shri Tsangpa Jare, who said in his aspiration prayers, may we be able to recognize the enlightened body, speech, mind qualities in all the minds of sentient beings. The third perfection is the perfect Dharma. So how do we cultivate this? Since everything that arises unceasingly as the natural display of the ultimate Vajra mind, this is the Dharma. There is no need to seek perfect teachings elsewhere. Finally, the fifth Pinsum Sokpa or the perfection is the perfection of time. How do one cultivate? In the immediate moment of self-awareness, the 3 times, past, present, and future, are not established as separate realities. When one recognizes this very moment, instant, as equality itself, there is no need to seek a perfect time elsewhere. So this is how we cultivate the 5 perfections in the context of the Vajrayana